Hello everybody, I'm Jester and welcome back to Kaiju Hachigo episode 12, Das Finale, in which we will see the fight of we've already seen that fight, but we're going to see the conclusion of the fight of Kafka versus Shinomiya's father. What's his name actually? Does he even have a name? He's gotta, but I guess he's not really listed anywhere, far as I can tell. Yeah, Shinomiya's father, Kikoru's father, old Shinomiya, whatever you wanna call him. Right. By the way, season 2 has been announced. I know that. Happy, very, very happy about season 2. I really was hoping for it to happen, and lo and behold, it happened. I wonder how much of a season 2 it's gonna be, how much of a second core, but, you know, I'm not gonna scoff at either. I'm gonna take what I can because I really like this series. So, regardless, in the previous episode, Kafka got a hero's send-off first. He was ordered to be transported to some other facility, like the main HQ for Japan or something like that, because their current facility, first of all, is destroyed, so, you know, it has some maybe security issues potential, and they also wanted to have Kafka on site. So they brought him here, and on the road, Kafka really got a hero send-off. He got saluted. We got a nice showcase of how much everybody cares about him, how much everybody wants him to return, right? How much everybody likes him, how much everybody needs him. That was very good. I really thought that there's going to be at least one detractor. There's going to be at least one person who's gonna be like, I was fighting alongside a kaiju all this time, I feel dirty, something like that. But no, absolutely not. Everybody, from the bottom faceless ground all the way to Soshiro, all the way to Mina, everybody needs Kafka, everybody respects him, everybody knows what he did. That was very good to see. And it again continues with the theme of just general positivity in this show that I so enjoy. He also got to speak with Mina outside of any sort of prying eyes and ears. And they got, I don't want to say closure, because closure kind of, implies that something's ending. It's not ending. It's beginning. It's starting. So they got to talk a little bit. And Kafka heard from Mina what he so wanted to hear. That she's been waiting, that she really believes that he can still stand beside her, and that all of it will end well, and they're going to fulfill their childhood promise. That was a very nice moment between the two of them. And exactly what Kafka needed, I feel. The recent events were, not much fun for him, to say the least. But now hearing from Mina that, yeah, I remember, and I actually want you to stand next to me, and I believe that you will be able to do that, well, that's gotta bump up his, I don't know, mental state in general, I guess. He got transported, and then... before that, there was not a montage, but we were shown how all of those other people are trying to help him, right? We have Mina writing a report with Konomi's help. We have Haruichi trying to call up his, thinking of calling up his father so that he might maybe intervene. We have, who else was there? The military boy, Aoi. We had him call up one of his past superiors to ask that maybe someone is there who could help somehow. We have Kikoru making a visit to his father and getting over her, dead mother trauma, kinda, sorta, right? Like, her father's rebuttal was that he's a kaiju, like the one that killed your mother. And she actually got shocked and stumped for a moment, but then she turned on her heel and said something along the lines of, even though I still want to believe in Kafka, something like that. That was another very nice moment in that episode. And at the end, we got the fight, Kafka versus old Shinomiya. And what a fight it was, huh? Old Shinomiya's goal is probably to drive Kafka to lose himself to his kaiju side, right? That's probably what he wants to do. In case Kafka loses himself to the kaiju side, well, it means he was dangerous to be around anyway. So might as well eliminate him. Win-win. If he, win for Shinomiya, not a win for Kafka. If it turns out, though, that Kafka can actually control it, that even when being attacked so viciously, he can still rein it in and keep control over it, well, maybe we can tentatively trust him. Someone's revving a motorcycle outside. Maybe we can trust him, and then it's a win-win, right? Because the military group gets a strong fighter, and Kafka gets to live, right? So that's probably what he's trying to do. I'm not sure, though. Could very well be just fighting for real, trying to avenge his dead wife or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Unfortunately, Kafka loses himself, though. After being attacked so much, the parasite kind of kicks in, the survival instinct of the parasite, rather, kind of kicks in. And, it cannot allow its host to die. So it takes control over and is going to be fighting for real, unless Kafka, of course, regains that control. The parasite also said something very interesting. Kaiju kill. I thought that it might have meant you are a kaiju, go and kill. But the more I think about it, I really think that what it meant is, this is a kaiju, we must kill it. And that's very interesting, because it means that the named kaiju weapons really are treated by the parasite like a regular kaiju, right? Even Kafka got his spidey senses tingling because of Shinomiya's father, so there has to be some, similarity between kaijus and humans using kaiju weapons. So I have to wonder, what does the parasite actually react to? Maybe to some, like, glands that they're using for weapons or something like that. I don't know. But there's a potential of maybe having a kaiju that doesn't have any combat abilities, doesn't have any weapon glands kind of things, so it doesn't get detected. Maybe, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And I have to wonder, why does the parasite want to kill kaiju, though? That's the big question here, isn't it? Right? We'll see how it ends. I predict that maybe Kafka will destroy the weapons, but leave old Shinomiya alive. Right? Like, he's gonna be like, then Kikoru's gonna scream, Kafka, no! And, no, I'm not gonna kill you. If I kill you, I'm gonna be just like you. Probably not. We're probably not going for this trope, but you know what I mean, right? At the last moment, he's gonna stop himself, and that's gonna be a proof of his humanity. Hopefully. We'll see, of course, how it goes. And to do that, we will need to watch this episode. How about that? You're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need... Whoop. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on. Sorry if I'm sniffing a little bit. I don't know. It's so hot that I got cold, apparently. Sound to hear what's going on. And support the channel if you want to monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, cost you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Kaiju Hachigo episode 12, das finale, in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I forgot to mention, I guess, on Patreon, early access to Wasuyu, if you want. And we had a seasonal stream not long ago. So the VOD should be up. If YouTube processed it, it probably is up. So if you didn't catch it live, you can catch it. You can catch the VOD on the channel. It's kind of scuffed because at the very end my PC just fucking overheated and just crashed everything. But we got through all the shows of the season, so at least, you know, that worked out. I was unable to make a final selection of the shows on stream, but there we go. But I'm probably just gonna select those shows on my own and maybe make a video about the shows that I've selected. I hope my camera's not gonna overheat, because it already flickered, and I see that it has like vents in the back, but it has no active cooling, just passive cooling. So maybe I'm gonna have to just mod it and just slap a fan on the back or something. Oh, right, and they're being separated into different teams. I forgot about that. He is. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Yeah? And he wants to make others stronger. Or that, sure. I mean, that's a given. Yeah. Well, get to training then. Oh, hello. Interesting. I thought that she's just, you know, the transport, guarding Kafka during transport, but apparently there's another purpose to her being here. Of course. Yeah, you're not here as part of the circle. No, didn't work. A maiden's scream was not enough. Okay, we're gonna get some perspective of old Shinomiya. That's nice. Some of his inner monologue. I mean, yeah. If you can make use of it. I mean, your papa brought it on himself, so... Oh? It's instantly reminded of the, Hibiki's attack from Symphogear. Also charging her, like, fist. Oh! Oh, that's dope! Oh, that's cool! Well, not strong enough. So we're above 10 then. Or does 9 point something versus 9 point something sum up to more than 10? I mean, he himself is a numbered kaiju, so... Yeah, exactly. But he didn't. Mm-hmm. As I said, probably testing his humanity. Mm-hmm. Probably exactly what happens. Including Kafka's. But their actions. Exactly. Calling your papa? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. He can learn. Kafka can learn. Yeah, and you created this monster, man. What's with the music? Another loaded punch. Yeah, the parasite is just seeing number 2 here. That's absolutely what it is. He's not seeing a human using a weapon, he's seeing another kaiju. Or, well, it. We're talking about the parasite here. Kafka. I mean, no one's gonna miss him. Besides maybe Kikoru, so... Right. That was a thing, wasn't it? No, probably not. He's probably going to regain his humanity. Hopefully leaving her father paraplegic, but, you know. Breaking off the chains! Yeah! What was that? The parasite swallowing him? Like symbolic of the kaiju powers just swallowing him whole? Probably. Or like getting a deeper connection, where it's no longer Parasite and Kafka in the same body, but rather finally becoming one. Again, you created this monster. Unless he's saying, like, I had hope that we can use him as one of our allies, but all hope is lost. Could be. Could be how it's interpreted. What's the light? Yellow glow. Whose hand is it? Who's wearing straw? Oh, Mina! Okay, good. There we go. That's the boost he needed. Yeah, Mina is waiting for you, dude. Are you going to let a kaiju defeat you? Fuck no. He stopped himself, didn't he? Yep. Stopped himself. Exactly. Hibino Kafka des. Da. Hmm. Nobody could stop him but himself. That's a big sword and a named character dressed as a faceless goon. Whomst. Okay, first division captain. Do we have the technology to fix it? I mean, he's proven to be a human, so we use him. That's the only possible conclusion. Anything else would be stupid. Mm-hmm. So it's just a formality? Okay, yeah, just a formality. So her opinion didn't matter anyway. He saved people. Yep. Saved people again. Exactly. Yeah, but it was only possible because he's a human. If he wasn't human, he would not have saved them. That shows his determination. Nope. He was a zero, man. He was a zero. Yep. And that's what matters here, isn't it? Saving people. That's what your entire organization is about. Yeah, I mean, that's been his deal ever since he was a child. Exactly. His actions or what his body is comprised of. Yes, you are. So, what is your opinion? We're not disposing of him. They're really keeping up the suspense, aren't they? They're really keeping up the suspense. Okay, well, he's alive at least. That's good. And no longer in the tank either. That's a nice scar. You were unable to regenerate it? Kikoru would be sad. Yep. No, but I accept your usefulness. You would have died, yes. In body. In mind, though, and in heart, you're a human. Most brass is opposed to that, not most people. Well, I mean, if there's no precedent, you gotta create it. You can't just excuse everything with there's no precedent. There was no precedent of people flying before the Wright brothers created a plane. Yeah. What's it matter? Exactly. Let's not be bogged down by red tape here. And if we have Kafka, he can just one-shot the entire bunch, so... Exactly. I mean, your opinion never mattered before old Shinomiya, so... I guess there's a benefit to this whole organization just being under his boot and nobody else's opinion mattering. He already did. It's just the other members of the top brass that didn't. So very small in front of that huge organization. Symbolic in it. Oh, everybody's getting messages. Yep. Oh, we're ending. Okay, I guess that's the episode. Everybody's gonna wanna need to get stronger. For different purposes, right? Ren wants to get stronger to protect him. Kikoru wants to get stronger in case she needs to defeat him, right? Yeah, seems to be the case. That's a lot of weight. Yeah, he overdid you in his cheer. Yeah. Hmm? Right. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Mm-hmm. So when it is inevitably revealed that he is a kaiju, everyone's reaction is gonna be, well, yeah, but he saved my family, rather than kill, 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 right? Let him sleep. Oh, after credits scene. Oh, number 9. Gee, I wonder who he is, eh? Through chess. He even got a Roomba? Who's he talking to? Who's he talking to? Another human kaiju? You mean Kafka, don't you? I wonder if it's something like let's watch this episode again. I wonder if it's something like the parasite strengthens whoever it infects, and the goal of the parasite was to strengthen kaiju, but Kafka didn't get infected with the parasite by accident, did he? The parasite said explicitly that I was looking for you. Right? Like, it would be different if a parasite was flying at some kaiju in order to power that kaiju up, but Kafka stood in the way and the parasite just burrowed itself in Kafka by accident. But again, it wasn't an accident. So, yeah, that theory is out. Okay, let's watch this episode again, as I said. Ultimately, not that much happened in this episode, honestly. Big things happened, things that matter happened, sure. But quantitatively, not a whole lot, really. Yeah, we got a look at the... I thought there's gonna be a comparison that he was using like 3 plates now, and then in the scene at the end he was using all of them, something like that. But no, I don't think the number of weights actually changed here. He agreed to go to another unit, yes, because he wants to get stronger, but he wants to do that as quickly as possible. I thought that the explanation is going to be that, yes, I want to get stronger, and I want the entire organization to also get stronger, right? So that Kafka's services are not needed for the most part. But apparently he just wants to speed up his strength gain. I wonder how is joining another team going to give him more strength faster. Getting different training by different people, experiencing different battlefields and stuff like that. Maybe like gaining more varied experience, essentially. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, next time I can protect him instead of having to protect me. There is a very interesting contrast here between Reno and Kikoru. Reno is, yeah, like, you know, next time I can protect him, I need to grow stronger so I can protect him. Kikoru is the opposite. I need to get stronger so that if Kafka loses himself, I can defeat him. Very interesting how much Kafka motivates everybody to get stronger, but for very like different and varied reasons. I wonder if we're gonna see some Reno versus Kikoru, maybe not a fight, but a rivalry. Reno versus Kikoru. Kafka Protector versus Kafka Killer. I wonder. Like, Kafka is losing himself, for example. Kikoru runs in, you know, ready to just kill him on the spot, and Reno stands in her way. Something like that. I could fully see that happening. And yeah, of course, I don't want him to see me like that as well either. I'm just gonna train as well. I'm not gonna be no slouch. Yeah, everybody's waiting for the resolution. Seat has not been prepared for you. Right, of course. I have a feeling, like I thought, for the most part, that among the humans, Kafka's biggest antagonist, Kafka's biggest problem, would be either Shinomiya's father, in his unmoved stance of kaiju equals kill, or it's going to be some of his former friends who's going to be, you know, they're not gonna want to fight alongside a kaiju, or something like that. But I guess it's completely the opposite. Right? Everybody is fully standing behind Kafka. Kikoru's father also recognized his strength, his usefulness, but it's the rest of the organization that is against. Not even any like specific people, but rather the general mass of the organization. And it shows well anytime, pretty much anytime Mina appears, right? Her opinion doesn't matter. She doesn't matter here. She's alone, tiny, in the corner of the frame, like almost Mike Wazowski'd by whatever is in that corner. And then there's this big organization with those big chairs and this big table, and she's just small little self who doesn't really matter here that much, who can't really sway this org whatsoever. And we see a similar symbolism later when she also stands in front of the building. He's just an animal, right? I was hoping we get some more insight into what's going through his head, and we get exactly that. Yeah, he's using his animalistic strength, exactly. Not using his human common sense and whatnot. This is the charged. Yeah, this is the charge. This is the Hibiki pulling back her gauntlet to do like a double punch. This is just male Hibiki. Sonic Boom, right? The core. This is amazing. Kaiju can regenerate from the core alone. So Kafka just left the core behind and is able to regenerate from it. That's actually dope. That's actually so fucking dope. And of course, we needed this, right? Punch versus punch. It's a classic, like beam versus beam, right? And the big explosion always in the middle. Classic. Yeah, should have survived an attack from 40 to 10. I wonder whether it's Kafka who exceeded 10, or whether it's like when you pit a 10 versus a 10, then if they punch each other, that punch is going to be of fortitude. Maybe not 20, but like 15 or something like that. Maybe. We have two numbered kaiju, exactly. Number 2 and number 8. He was going to kill him, he should have done so indeed. But he didn't, so it is a test. I was wondering for a like early on, that maybe it's not so much a test as it is him trying to get Isao. Isao is his name, I just noticed, he is listed actually. That he wants to take revenge, right? Like, if I killed this kaiju fast, like we kill all the other kaiju around, I would not get the satisfaction, so I'm going to enjoy this fight, right? Something along those lines. But yeah, we have it pretty much outright stated that he's just giving him a chance to survive. He's just testing him. And indeed, exactly like Aoi says, people should be judged by their actions, not by what their body consists of, not by who they are, not by what they say, but by what they do. This was a big hit. I really thought that he lost just a chunk of flesh here. But I think it's just ripped suit and like skin peeled off. Yeah, Kafka is strong. Very strong and glowing red now. Interesting change of glow color here. I guess it signifies him losing himself to the kaiju side even more. Starting to surpass Isao's estimations. Oh, I thought that it's Isao saying that, and I was confused. What do they mean, Isao? But no, I think it's Keiji, the bald dude, who's saying that. And Kafka, of course, still fighting, still struggling. Yeah, Isao kind of in a lost position here. He's not really able to do much to Kafka. And if Kafka were to just lose himself to the kaiju side, if he were to, you know, not try to stop himself, Isao would die right here and there. And if he can stop Kafka, nobody can. So we would be in a very peculiar situation. That's an interesting impact frame. It's like solarization effect. Cool. And yeah, it's basically number 2 attacking by now. And a big scream beam grab and smash. And of course, Kikoru. Yeah, I really thought that it's actually going to be Kikoru to stop Kafka here. You know, her screams, like, you know, it's a classic, right? The main character is overtaken by their demonic arm, and they start wailing on someone, and there's a friend on the sidelines. No, main protagonist Kun, don't do it! And we get an insight into their head, and he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you. I'm stronger than the curse of my left arm, right? I was thinking it's going to be something like that. But it wasn't Kikoru, actually. I mean, the thoughts of Kikoru started the process, but ultimately it was the thought of Mina that did it. And yeah, that's exactly what Kikoru said. This is interesting. I wonder if it's on purpose or just accidental. But notice how she's so very sad that if Kafka kills her father, she's going to kill Kafka. She's gonna have to kill Kafka. That's what she's sad about, and not so much about her father dying. I wonder if it's just accidental. Probably is, because we have seen that Kikoru, she doesn't hate her father, but it's interesting. But yeah, still, I want to believe in him. And this is another moment that I thought, yeah, Kafka's gonna hear it, right? The friends scream, the maidens scream, the power of the Nakama, and he's going to stop himself, but no. He's trying to, and I really was expecting him to just rip those flesh tendrils that hold him in place and free himself, but no. The parasite is swallowing him whole. Very symbolic of the kaiju power just swallowing him. This is how it always goes for me, and he's given a chance to reflect. I had hope, but I suppose all is lost. I wonder what exactly he means here. Either in a very, I don't want to say short term, but like immediate terms of I had hope that Kafka will show himself to be a human, but I guess he's a kaiju after all. Or maybe in the grander scheme of things. Like, I had hope that Kafka might give a kickstart to a new branch of weapon research and stuff that could help us fight kaiju better in the long term, but I guess turning people into kaiju is not a sustainable thing, so my plan is bust. I wonder which is it, because I've been kind of toying with the idea that perhaps if we can discover what makes Kafka tick, we could maybe start turning other people into kaiju. What especially kind of tips me towards it is Reno's almost obsession with getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I wonder if Reno was presented with a parasite like that, would he take it? He probably would. If it means he can get stronger, if it means he can help Kafka, he would turn himself into kaiju, given the opportunity. And I have to wonder if there's maybe going to be some maybe secret research or something like that about strengthening humans with kaiju body parts, kaiju biology. Instead of just giving them weapons based on kaiju, how about we inject kaiju muscle fibers straight into their muscles, right? How about instead of giving them suits that can help regenerate, we inject them with whatever it is that helps kaiju regenerate? What if we implant a kaiju core inside of a human being, right? Those sorts of things. I wonder if there's actually gonna be some experiments about that. Kaiju human hybrid experiments. I don't know. Blood injections, core transplant, etc. Yeah, falling into the abyss of his kaiju powers, and then yellow light. I really thought that, yellow light, oh, it's Kikoru. Of course it's Kikoru. Kikoru is yellow after all. But no, I guess it's just, golden light, not so much as yellow. It's the golden angelic kind of light. And Mina is here. Yep, I'll always be waiting. You wake the fuck up, samurai. Stop yourself, defeat yourself. Your dream is defeating the kaiju. You're a kaiju now. You gotta defeat yourself, basically. But yeah, it just shows that the only force that's able to stop Kafka is himself. Number 2 cannot stop him. I don't think any other named weapon can stop him either. I don't think any other kaiju can stop him. Not when he fully gives in to his kaiju powers. I wonder how much will Kafka's ties to humanity weaken him, right? His his knowledge of human limitations, basically, right? Like it was shown when he twisted and just broke his torso, but was able to attack well because of that, thanks to that. His human mind would not decide to do that, right? What do you mean my torso can turn 180? That's not possible. I'm not gonna do that. But what if it could, though? Right? I'm not going to sacrifice my body as a decoy and then what, regenerate myself from my heart? No, it doesn't work that way. Another human mind limitation that kaiju are not bound by. I wonder if maybe when shit hits the fan, like fully and completely, Kafka will have to lose himself to the kaiju side. When shit hits the fan, Kafka will have to lose himself to his kaiju side because his human mind is a limitation, in parenthesis, human body doesn't move like that. For example, well, yeah, I'm not Kaiju No.8, I'm Kafka Hibino. Thankfully, he did not destroy his core, just dehensioned himself. And we meet a brand new character who seems like a nameless, faceless goon, but is using... Is it a named kaiju weapon? It has number 1 on it, so probably. Or does it signify his belonging to the 1st division? I don't know, I'm not sure. Could be either. Gen Narumi. I wonder what's gonna be his significance. Like, they wouldn't introduce him for no reason. He was more than I expected, yeah. Take him in. And they really kept the suspense for the entire half of the episode, didn't they? Yeah, we wanna hear from her. And all those, like, vague posting about, we don't want you to feel, to feel responsible for what's gonna happen here, for our decision, stuff like that. I really thought that it's a misdirection. Basically, what they want us to believe is, we don't want you to feel guilty for what's gonna happen here, meaning we don't want you to feel guilty for Kafka being executed, but in reality it's revealed that they mean we don't want you to feel guilty for the fact that a kaiju will now be fighting alongside your people. Something like that, but apparently it was neither, or rather it was the former, but then they just got overruled by Isao. No special treatment, of course. We almost reached our conclusion, and yeah, we don't know that conclusion. So I'm still thinking it's a misdirection. They came to a conclusion that reluctantly they're going to allow a kaiju to fight. But no, probably not. Your testimony will have no influence on Kaiju No.8's fate. Again, showing just how small and insignificant she is in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, he was helping people, he was saving people, always using his own strength, always using his own power, never surrendering, never, giving up, always coming back. Failed the exam 12 times, yes, but he passed for the 13th. He failed, but he retried. He did not give up. And his combat power was 0. That's what our suits are, everything noted down. he was not using his kaiju powers. Is it like a mobile crematorium? I think it might be. The smoke coming from up there, and Mina crying for someone, and then that scene in front of a crematorium. And he has more humanity than anyone. Yeah. In his heart and in his mind, he's a human. It's just his body that's a kaiju. Nobody will accuse us of a hasty decision now. And again, I'm thinking, oh, hasty decision. Nobody's gonna accuse us of deciding that he can be of use, because even his commanding officer said that, right? It's not our fault. But no, everybody's supposed, actually. And more suspense. Thankfully, they were able to heal Kafka. That's good. Yeah, I think that's the back of this track. So I decided that if I was gonna become a kaiju in both body and mind, I'm gonna have to stop myself. Yep. And here he is. Here's Daddy Dearest. And this is the first concern that Kafka has. Not, thank God, I'm glad I'm alive. No. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad I didn't kill you, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to face Kikoru. That's his biggest concern here. And it's gotta count for something in Isao's eyes. It's gotta. Yeah, you're not a human. No. Not in body. But you can prove your humanity by your actions. The theme of, talk is cheap, actions matter. We'll decide later if you're a threat. Yep, most people are opposed to letting you live. Not so. Most of the top brass is opposed to that. Most of the people who are actually down in the trenches are not. That's the difference. Right? The top brass they're not fighting this fight. They're not down there fighting the kaiju. They have not been saved by Kafka. They don't know what's going on. They're just shut up in their ivory towers, commanding from above. They have no insight into what's going on down below on the ground. It is the people from the trenches who know Kafka's worth, who know Kafka's loyalties. He will fight for us. He will not be converted into weaponry. Yep. There's no precedent. Yeah, precedent doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna call you back. He can be controlled. Yeah, he has been doing missions with the 3rd Division. He did not snap. He did not kill his commanding officers. He did not start killing his fellow, infantrymen. None of that, right? And true, it's not clear if a weapon made from him would be able to produce that much power. He's not like full, proper, like born kaiju, right? His power comes from the parasite, really. And part of Kafka's strength is that he fights for something. And you can't really move that into a weapon, can you? And it's not even known if the parasite would be able to be turned into a weapon, right? Does it give the character, does it give the person the strength to use their power fully, or does it like give that power to that person, right? Depending on that, the weapon could work or it could not. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of Dai Kaiju. We're seeing a lot of, tiny little Kaijus. So we need everything that can help us. And exactly, fuck off with your precedent. They're meaningless. There was no precedent for turning Kaiju into a weapon until you turned the first Kaiju into a weapon. There was no precedent for turning Kaiju muscle fibers into armor before you turned the muscle fibers into armor. Right? If a swarm of Kaiju emerges with numbers that far exceed our estimates, yeah, we need everything we can. Prove your worth if you want to survive. Exactly. That's going to be the theme, isn't it? Kafka having to prove himself and slowly convincing all those people in the top brass maybe that he's actually useful. Or, alternatively, the people in the top brass may be being replaced, right? Like, I don't know, you were trying to stop Kafka while he was doing a super secret mission for us, and because of you, many people died. You're not fit to be on the council. Fuck off. Mina, do you want to join our council? Something like that, maybe. Right? People who are way too stuck in the there's no precedent are going to be weeded out slowly, and the entire organization will see a big change, a big shift. Maybe. This scene. Tiny little Mina in front of a humongous organization. Right? Like, for the most part of this season, the vibe there was that Mina is kind of at the top, right? She's what we aim for. The top brass is kind of a vague idea that, yeah, I guess there is some people on the top, but we don't really see them, we don't really know them, right? It's Mina at the top. But this shows us Mina is no one. Mina is a leader of one of the teams, yes, sure, one of the divisions, absolutely. But she doesn't matter in decision making. She's very tiny in front of the whole entire organization. So the fact that she likes Kafka, that she wants him to survive, doesn't matter. It's this huge building, it's this monument of an organization that makes the decisions, that calls the shots. But yeah, thankfully everybody gets a message that disposal has been deferred. I can't be entirely happy, I need to get stronger, yep, or I won't be able to stop him if I need to. Exactly, everybody wants to grow stronger because of Kafka, just for different reasons. Yeah, I'll be way stronger than I am now. This is the problem though, right? If it gets revealed that Kaiju can be human, well... What if my neighbor is a human? What if my neighbor is a Kaiju, right? That's what people are gonna start to think. And yeah, Kafka needs to prove he's useful enough that nobody can refuse his help, basically. He needs to build that reputation for himself of maybe even the reputation of the helpful Kaiju, right? Like he helped that little girl and her mother at the beginning of the season, something like that. Things are gonna get even harder indeed. And number 9 is playing chess. Their weapon is the ability to accumulate knowledge across generations. Yes, indeed. Layout of the base, our plan to the next phase. Who's he talking to? Who the hell is he talking to? Time to bring the kaiju power that fell into human hands back to our side. Probably talking about Kafka. I can't imagine him talking about anybody else. I'm going to call you back, I said. Okay. So that was the episode. There we go. As always, time to go through the theories, as we always do. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about this episode and about this season as a whole, again, as we always do. There's something more to Kaiju than just being a monster. I don't know, I'm not sure. I guess I said that, meaning I wrote that down, meaning that Kaiju might have some sort of a society to them, something like that, which... So far we have a couple of outliers, right? The humanoid Kaiju, but does it speak for the entirety of the Kaiju kind? Probably not, so I'm gonna leave it for the time being. A plan to create superhumans, right, that the parasite might have been some escaped thingamajig that is supposed to create superhumans with kaiju powers or something. Probably not, but we don't know the nature of the parasite, so I can't really say one way or another. Kaiju hive mind deemed Kafka worthy of ascension. Again, we don't know the parasite's deal. Kafka was to become another Kaiju king. We don't know the parasite's deal still. Kaiju have some interest in humanity and a reason to become more like humans. We don't know that. Kaiju noticed big monsters are easily defeated, so they decided to blend in with humans instead. We don't know the purpose of them becoming humanoid. Kikoru's mother died by a kaiju that broke her father. Yes, that's essentially what happened. Kafka number 8 will be blamed for resurrections. No, he wasn't. He was not. Soshiro is on Kaiju's side. No, not really. Mina has some superpowers. Besides her, like, high ranking, no. She's not, like, super special, really. Reno loses an arm, gets a prosthetic, or Iharu. Not yet, at least, so I'm gonna leave it just in case it happens in season 2, maybe. Force of combat cleanup is created thanks to Kafka. They dispose of or neutralize dangerous corpses left behind. Hasn't happened yet, but still might. Elemental ice shock fire rounds work really well against the Kaiju King. They did work really well, but I mean, I guess they did work really well, but I'm not sure if it sets any sort of a precedent. So I'm gonna say yes, that it did technically happen, but I don't know if it's like the mechanic here. Iharu jumped to over 22% after fight with Kaiju King in episode 7. I don't think it's the fight necessarily that did it. Yeah, I'm gonna say yellow. I'm gonna say yellow, and we don't know his power ranking, but I think it should be more. Iharu catches up to Reno, hasn't happened yet. Mina stops Soshiro from killing Kafka. No, has not happened, and is not going to happen, because now they are all in the know. Parasites were sent by a third party. We don't know the nature of the parasites. Kafka starts questioning his nature. Not really. Yeah, not really. Not yet, at least. Number 10 is human turned kaiju like Kafka. We don't know that, and number 10 is dead, so we're not gonna know that. Eating enemies makes kaiju stronger. Hasn't really happened, so I'm gonna say no. Bold dude Keiji Itami starts supporting Kafka. Hasn't happened in an overt way quite yet. Reno is driven by his desire to be better, faster, harder, stronger. Yeah, basically. Reno will have to be saved from wanting to become better, harder, faster, stronger. We don't know that. Hasn't happened yet. Kafka's parasite wants to kill Kaiju. I think that's basically a given. We just don't know why. Old Shinomiya's abuse is a way to test if Kafka controls his powers. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Reno versus Kiko. Oh, those are theories from today's episode, so ultimately, not a lot. Not a lot, but mostly because most of those theories were about the nature of the parasite and the goal of the parasite and the goal of the kaiju, and none of that has been revealed to us quite yet, has it? So, good episode. I mean, as always, right? There hasn't really been an overall bad episode of this show. There have been episodes where I had like some issue with them, right? Like Kafka letting go of number 9, for example, that I had an issue with. But there were no bad episodes, for sure. Satisfying fight. Very satisfying. Yeah, it actually is very satisfying because both the old Shinomiya got the thrashing he deserved, and Kafka was deemed fit for combat, for the lack of a better word, right? I really was afraid that that Kafka is either just going to stop himself and just take the abuse without dishing out any of his own. I wouldn't be a huge fan of it, right? I'm usually not a huge fan of turn the other cheek, but Kikoru's father, he got his comeuppance, but still was left alive, and Kafka stopped himself at the last moment, so we essentially get the best of both worlds, right? He got back what he dished out, and also survived, which allowed Kafka to survive as well. I have to wonder about Kafka's real, full, proper power, because if the room was supposed to be able to sustain the 10 score, but it got broken, then how strong is Kafka exactly? Right? We know that if he's keeping his humanity, his 9 point something, and if he sheds his humanity, he exceeds 10, could be the case. Could very well be the case, and it really seems to be. What else about this episode? I find it interesting how many subversions there were in this episode as well, right? First, there was the expectation that, yeah, it's going to be Kikoru's screams that bring Kafka to his humanity. That was the expectation, but it wasn't. It was actually Mina, which makes sense, right? But it's not what it was like shaping up to be. Then there was the whole, what I thought is a misdirection, that, yeah, the top brass actually decided that Kafka is useful and we're gonna keep him, but no, they actually didn't. It's actually the biggest opponent of Kafka who is, supportive of him. That was cool. That was really dope. I like it. I have to wonder what's gonna happen to the organization, because I could see either all of those members of the top brass slowly being more and more convinced that Kafka is useful, actually. Could happen. Or I could see them all just slowly but surely being replaced by people who have more of a vision, who are not bound by precedent, who see that something could be useful and they want to make use of it. I wonder how that changes. That's gonna be interesting to see. I wish this episode showed us the reunion of Kafka with his team. If there is like one thing that I'm kind of missing here, that would be nice to see. But I guess we're gonna have to wait for season 2 for that. And it's going to be a nice opening episode, right? Seeing Kafka back, welcomed by everybody. We'll see how it happens, of course. Thank God for season 2. I'm so incredibly glad that season 2 is a thing. I was hoping, and yeah, good shit. More of that, please. I mean, I heard Sentai Daishikaku got a season 2 as well, so there's a clear trend for season 2s. This episode, of course, worked really well, even as a finale. So absolutely no criticism here. Good finale to the series, good episode in its own right, good stuff all around. Yeah, I think that's just gonna be it about this this particular episode. Now about this season as a whole, I love it. Man, I love this show. I love this series, honestly. I love it for its overall positive message, and maybe not message, but like positive vibe in general, right? In other shows, some of that stuff could have ended badly, right? Someone might have betrayed Kafka. There might have been some detractors, stuff like that. No, none of that. None of that has ever happened. Everybody is supportive of him. Everything ends well. Everything is just working super well. There's that sense of camaraderie, right? I like it. I really do. It would be so easy to squeeze in some like in-group drama here and there, right? Maybe some unhealthy competition between a couple of officers now, not recruits anymore. Maybe someone not liking Kafka, right? Maybe stuff like that. But it wasn't done. No, it's a good, cool, like shonen-esque story that's like pure is what I mean, right? There's no like scheming in the background, none of that. It's pure. And I like it. I really do like getting a pure story like that every now and then. So mad props for that. Great animation in the show, on like, you know, from a technical standpoint. Some great use of smear frames, of impact frames, most of all. I love the design of Kaiju. I love the design of Kafka, most of all. And I really appreciate the lack of CG. I think we've seen CG used like what, once for a couple, for like an army of kaiju, maybe, I'm not sure. But besides that, Kafka is not CG, and not the Dai kaiju are not CG. Humanoid kaiju are not CG, right? Everything is like, you know, hand drawn, and it's so cool to see that in an age where pretty much every monster is just replaced with CG at every opportunity they get. To get a show that has this crazy designs and is actually made in 2D is a boon. Great music, great voice acting. I have absolutely no criticism for any of that. The down theme is just going to be stuck in my head, and the opening is also going to be stuck in my head, and the ending, just good music all around. Overall, I very much enjoyed this show. One of the highlights of my week, honestly. So I liked it very much, and I'm super stoked for season 2, and I hope you are as well. But right now, I'm gonna say that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, this show in general, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Say so in the comments down below. No spoilers, we know season 2 is coming, so please don't spoil it to me. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only, well, no longer Kaiju No.8, but whatever the next season brings. You can go watch my seasonal VOD to figure out maybe what I'm gonna be watching. For sure, Wasuyu is something that's still happening. Wasuyu season 2 up on Patreon already. And speaking of, you can support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, where for $10 a month you get early access to Wasuyu and other non-seasonal shows, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube, memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start, and with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zeraina, Yuuki, Ally, Ishtamu, Dr. Watt, Akumaster, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight anybody's father.